Have you ever wondered if time could just stop? But only for you, while the rest of the world keeps spinning? Imagine taking a quick afternoon nap, and when you wake up, 100 years have gone by. Now, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. It's an absolutely profound story from the Surah Al-Baqarah, one that really makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about time, life, and even death itself.
So, let's dive in. Our story kicks off with our main character, the Prophet Uzair. He's on a journey that's about to change not just his own life, but pretty much everything for his people. So picture this. He's traveling with his trusty donkey, carrying some grapes and bread for the road, and he comes across a city, or what used to be a city. This was Jerusalem, and it had been completely wiped out. Buildings were just piles of rubble, roofs caved in, and there was this awful, heavy silence. And everywhere he looked, he saw the scattered bones of the people who once lived there. Seeing that kind of total devastation, a place that was once bustling with life, now just a massive graveyard, you can imagine the question that just bubbled up inside of him. Looking at all those skeletons turning to dust, he wondered how. How does the promise of resurrection actually work?
Now, this is a really important point. This wasn't a question coming from doubt. I mean, this guy was a prophet. His faith was rock solid. It was more like pure, deep curiosity. He had this powerful desire to actually see with his own eyes the how behind the miracle. He wanted to understand the mechanics of it all. So to get out of the hot sun, he finds a spot to rest. He ties up his donkey and gets his simple meal ready. He squeezes some grapes into a cup for juice and soaks his dry bread in it, planning to eat it once it got a little softer. But as he's sitting there, waiting, a much bigger plan was starting to unfold. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, death took him. His soul was taken, and he just lay there, perfectly preserved. And for Hazrat Uzair, right then and there, the clock of the entire universe just stopped. This was the very first part of the answer to his question, a real-life demonstration that time itself is a creation and its creator can pause it at will. But for everyone and everything else, the clock was still ticking. Not for a day, not for a year. We're talking about an entire century. 100 years passed. So this is the really wild part, right? Think about the contrast. During those 100 years, that ruined city was slowly rebuilt. People moved back, new houses went up, babies were born who grew up, had their own families, grew old, and died. Whole generations came and went. And through all of that, Hazrat Uzair stayed exactly as he was, completely untouched by the passage of time. Okay, so now we get to the awakening. This is where the answer to his question gets revealed, and in the most direct way you can possibly imagine. After exactly 100 years, his soul was returned to his body. He wakes up, gives a little stretch, probably feeling like he's just had a quick nap. He even notices the sun is a bit lower in the sky. Then, an angel, looking like a regular person, shows up and asks him, "So, how long do you think you've been here?" Looking at the sun, he gives the most logical answer he can. The angel then hits him with a bombshell. "You've been here for 100 years. And to prove it, he tells him, "Look at your food." The grape juice and the soaked bread were perfectly fresh, like he just made them. Then the angel says, "Now look at your donkey." And all that's left is a pile of scattered white bones. It's an incredible lesson right there. One thing defies nature completely, while the other follows its rules perfectly. It just shows that the same power that controls decay can also choose to suspend it. And this is the direct answer to his question, playing out right in front of him. Those scattered donkey bones suddenly fly together, clack, 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 locking into a perfect skeleton. Then you see flesh and muscle just wrap around the frame. Veins spread out like a road map, and then skin and hair cover the whole thing. And finally, life is breathed back into it. The donkey stands up and brays, totally alive again. He had asked how, and he was getting a step-by-step masterclass. So with that incredible image of resurrection burned into his memory, he hops on his good-as-new donkey and rides back towards what he thinks is his hometown. But the world he came back to, it was not the one he left behind. The city was totally rebuilt, the streets were all different, and every single face he saw was a stranger. Can you imagine that feeling? He was a man out of time, a complete alien in the very place he was born. After searching for a while, he finally finds what he believes is his old home, and this very, very old woman comes to the door. She's 120 years old, blind, and can barely move. He finds out she used to be his family's servant. She was just a 20-year-old girl when he vanished a century ago. He tells her who he is, and she remembers the old stories of a man named Uzair, whose prayers were always answered. So she asks him to pray for her, and he does. And boom, miraculously, her sight comes back, her paralysis is healed. And she looks at him, really looks at him, and cries out that it really is him. He is Hazrat Uzair. So this servant, she's so excited, right? She rushes him to the town assembly, telling everyone he's back. But you gotta put yourself in their shoes. This guy they've only heard about in stories suddenly shows up looking like he's maybe 40. It's a lot to take in. They're gonna need some more proof.
And this is maybe the most mind-bending part of the whole story. His own son, who was just a teenager when he left, is now a 118-year-old man. And the father, Hazrat Uzair, is still 40. I mean, can you even wrap your head around that? A father who was literally 78 years younger than his own son. That right there was living, breathing proof that 100 years had truly passed.
So his son steps up. He gives the first piece of physical proof. He remembers and identifies a specific birthmark between his father's shoulders. But the final test, this was the big one. The community's holy book, the Torah, had been burned and lost when the city was destroyed. But Hazrat Uzair had memorized the whole thing, so he stood there and recited the entire Torah, word for word. In that moment, he didn't just prove who he was. He restored their sacred scripture to them.
And with that, all doubt was gone. The people knew it was him. You see, his whole journey started with a private, whispered question among ruins. How? It ended with this incredible public demonstration of divine power and his own declaration of absolute certainty. He now knew with open eyes that Allah has power over all things. And it leaves us with a pretty big thought, doesn't it? What really are the limits of time? And how does faith grow not just by believing, but by experiencing the impossible firsthand?